name is Zach Wright. I'm the Ennis campus pastor, and today I'm coming to you guys from the brand new Ennis campus. This is such an exciting day for us. We've been working on this project for over a year, and today we're going to share it with you. One of the things that we lost in this crisis, we were supposed to have our grand opening here on Easter Sunday. And even though we weren't able to do that, today we want to share it with you guys, and we want to continue to build excitement because we have so many big plans for this building. So what we're going to do today, I'm hosting from over here. In just a little bit, we'll watch a video that we filmed earlier this week of David, Drew, and I doing a walkthrough and showing this place off to you guys. We're going to have worship and preaching from our Waxahachie campus because we're not quite ready to film from this campus yet, but we're still able to be here today showing it to you guys, celebrating the virtual grand opening. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been a part of this. It's been incredible to see how God has worked over the last year to bring us to this point. It's been amazing all the different ways that he's provided for us, and we're here. We're ready. As soon as we're able to open these doors back up again, I cannot wait to see what God is going to do through us as we use this building as a tool in our community. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for you guys to see it today. At this time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw it over to Joel and Drew and the guys in Waxahachie, and we're going to have worship together.
There I was, empty-handed, crying out from the pit of my despair. And there you were, in the shadows, holding out your hand, you met me there. And now where would I be without you? Where would I be? Jesus, you were the voice in the desert, calling me out in the dead of night, fighting my battles for me. You were my rescue story, lifting me up from the ashes, carry my soul from death to life, bringing me from glory to glory. You were my rescue story. You are, you were my rescue story. You are, you were writing the pages before I had a name, before I needed grace, singing songs of redemption. Every time I ran away, you were louder than my shame. And now where would I be without you? Where would I be? Jesus, you were the voice in the desert, calling me out in the dead of night, fighting my battles for me. You were my rescue story, lifting me up from the ashes, carry my soul from death to life, bringing me from glory to glory. You were my rescue story. You never gave up on me. You never gave up on me. You were my testimony. Oh, you never gave up on me. You never gave up on me. You were my testimony. Oh, you never gave up on me. You never gave up on me. searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures they fade are never enough. But then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley, and there's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. You keep beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn mourning to dancing. You keep beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn rains into gardens. You turn bulls into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. Oh, there's nothing, oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. Lord, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing, nothing is better than you. Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Sing it wherever you are. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen.
May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his presence go before you and behind you.
My family and I have been at the Avenue for 9 years now, and one of the things that continues to blow me away is the generosity of this church. I've been a part of so many projects over the years, whether it's serving in our community, whether it's doing things to make our church better in order to reach the people in our cities. It's been amazing to see how you guys have gotten behind those. You've given financially, you've given of your time, you've served in so many incredible ways, and it just continues to amaze me how the people of this church are so generous in so many different ways. Over the last few weeks, what we've been doing as a church is giving a portion of our offering towards people that we want to support through this crisis, whether it's local ministries or people who are fighting the virus on the front lines. Today, what we're doing is supporting one of our partner churches in Lima, Peru. A few years ago, Pastor Allen, our Celebrate Recovery pastor, had a vision to go down there and help start a Celebrate Recovery ministry in that city through this church that we partner with. And it's been amazing to see how God has grown that into such an incredible ministry that they're doing down there. This crisis has really hurt that church as people are not able to gather together. And so what we're doing today is giving a portion of our offering to support the ministry of that church. You can give online at theavenuechurch.com, or you can text to give by texting the amount to 84321, or you can mail a check to 210 YMCA Drive. And we want you to know that a portion of what you give today is going towards that church in Peru. One of the other things that I'm grateful for as I talk about the generosity of our church is how you guys have gotten behind this project here in Ennis. God gave us a vision over a year ago to move from our old building into this building. We've been here in Ennis for 5 years now, and it's been amazing to see the work that God has already done. We've seen life change on an incredible scale. And so what we're excited about is to be able to expand that vision in our community. We know that this building is going to be an incredible tool for us to reach so many more people. And so I want to say thank you for each person that has given towards this. I want to say thank you to each person that has volunteered to make this happen. There's been so many of you who've given your skills, your resources, your time to be up here working tirelessly over the last year. And I want you to know it has made a difference. This place is incredible. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to see what's going to happen. Our dates have changed. We were supposed to move here in here at Easter, but our plans haven't changed. And we want you to know that as soon as this place is ready, we're going to open these doors so wide and welcome in the people of our city and our communities to show them what God is doing here. And so I want to encourage you guys to invite. As soon as all of this is over, let people know that this is here. Invite your friends, invite your family to be a part of this, to just come and see what it is that God is doing. So what I want to do right now, I know you guys have been waiting for this. We've been waiting so long to show you guys the grand opening. So here it is, the virtual grand opening of the Avenue Church Ennis campus.
what I make, I am who you have made me to be. I am not what I've done, I am loved unconditionally. And I am not loved by the measure of love that I bring. I am not who I know, I am known by the King of all kings. Jesus, you are enough. Jesus, you are enough for me. With nothing, I still have everything. Jesus, you are enough for me. You are Maker made visible, holding the world in your hands. You are patient and merciful, giver of grace without end. And satisfied simply by being who you've always been. You are infinite love, and you prove it again and again. Jesus, you are enough. Jesus, you are enough for me. With nothing, I still have everything. Jesus, you are enough for me. Jesus, you are enough. Jesus, you are enough for me. With nothing, I still have everything. Jesus, you are enough for me. In you I am created. In you I am sustained. With you I'm resurrected. You overcame the grave. With you I stand in victory. Now what else could I need? With you I want for nothing. Jesus, my everything. Sing it out. Jesus, you are enough. Jesus, you are enough for me. With nothing, I still have everything. Jesus, you are enough for me. Jesus, you are enough. Jesus, you are enough for me. With nothing, I still have everything. Jesus, you are enough for me. Jesus, you are enough. Jesus, you are enough for me. With nothing, I still have everything. Jesus, you are enough for me. Thank you so much for worshiping with us. We hope and pray that that song can become your deepest desire and heart's prayer. Until next time, God bless.
Okay, guys, I'm headed to the store.
Joe, what's up, man? Hey, good to see you.
Look, honey, I'm on TikTok now.
Why are you putting on makeup?
The mail is gonna be here soon? Duh.
Because of coronavirus, you are going to be quarantined, but you have a choice. Do you A, quarantine with your wife and child, or B?
B.
Thank you for joining us again online. We appreciate you being here and being with us. I hope you enjoyed the virtual tour that we just went through. I can tell you the video is not going to do the Ennis campus justice. It is an incredible, incredible building. I am so proud of the work that has been done there. I believe the people in Ennis are going to be excited about filling that building up. Can't wait to be in the room with you and see you face to face. It's incredible. So thank you for all the hard work and all that has gone through to make that campus just become one of the most beautiful campuses in Ellis County. I just appreciate all the hard work that's gone into it and look forward to you walking those halls and seeing what God has provided there. We've been doing everything we can to get ready to meet again. And although online has been good, we've had a lot of people watching and connecting, and people are growing and people are still getting saved. There's nothing like meeting together. When we meet together, something happens that does not happen online. And we are the church, even though we're not in the building and the church is not the building. But there's a powerful something that goes on when we gather together, when we worship together, when we pray together, when we encourage one another. So I want you to know that we're doing everything to get ready for that. Our cleaning crews have been going through these buildings, disinfecting everything, cleaning everything. Our grounds and building people have been fixing everything that has ever been broken. We are busy with our grounds, making them look as good as they can. We're going to be ready. Now, we're going to open following guidelines because we believe in being responsible to our community and to follow authority. We're going to meet together as soon as we can. If that means that we gather with social distancing, we have several venues that we can use. And we'll open up those venues and we'll put people everywhere we can so we can at least be together and start worshiping together again. Now, our children's ministries will probably be the last that we come online with. Well, that's not the right word anymore because online is a whole different thing. The last thing we bring back to the building will probably be children's ministry because they do not know how to social distance. There's no way. After 3 weeks of not seeing two of my grandchildren, I went to see them. We were going to try to keep social distance. My 4-year-old granddaughter runs as fast as she can with her arms out. So social distancing was over at that moment because they just can't do it. So we're excited to be back with you. While we're going through this, we're going to continue to talk about how we shelter. And so for the next few weeks, I want to discuss how to come out of the shelter better, how to come out of this time better. And I just want to show you something really quickly about that. When we have been in this shelter in place, there's been so many complaints, so many people saying, I can't wait to get things back to normal. I can't wait to get things back to normal. Well, honestly, normal wasn't that great because all we did when things were normal was to complain about how busy everything was, how many activities and how we didn't have time to do anything and how our kids had something every night of the week and we just didn't have time for family meals and we didn't have time to take walks and Sunday's the only day that I have off. And all of these things that we have said and complained about all of a sudden came to a halt. There's no traffic going down the middle of Waxahachie anymore. There's no traffic jams in Dallas. Crime rate is down. All these things are going on that we've complained about for so long. And so with that, I want us to look at this as an opportunity to reset, an opportunity to look at our lives. And I don't think I want to go back to normal. I don't want to go back to the way it was before. I don't think any of us will take for granted visiting grandparents anymore. I don't think we'll take that for granted. I don't think we'll take for granted sitting in a restaurant and someone coming up and saying, may I take your order? We won't take that for granted any longer. Being able to show up to church on the weekend, I don't think we'll take for granted. Giving somebody a hug, I don't think we'll take for granted. And I think that's a good thing. I think that is a good thing for that. We don't want to go back to normal. We want to watch what our kids do. We want to continue with being able to gather together as a family and have meals together and play games together. And so I want us to come out of the shelter stronger than we were when we went into it. And so for the next few weeks, we're going to talk about this. I want us to realize that something good can come out of this. Now, I'm not saying God did this to slow us down. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying we can use this as an opportunity to evaluate the things that we've been doing in our life and to come out of this better. Now, some of you are struggling, and I get that. The generosity in this church has been overwhelming. We've been able to pour into our community in incredible ways. We've been able to help local ministries in a way that we are very proud of. Now, I know that a lot of you are in life groups. And if you're in a life group, you're connected with that life group. And I know life groups are helping each other get through this time financially, emotionally, spiritually, in every way. But I have a lot of you I know are not connected to a life group. You call the Avenue home and you're part of our family, but you just haven't followed through in getting involved in a life group. You're not connected with a group of people. You're not serving, but you're out there and you may feel alone. We want you to know your church is here for you. We want to help you. We have put a form online that you can check. You can click on a button and you can request help. We don't want you to think you're out here alone. We don't want you to struggle. We don't want your kids to suffer. Please let us know if you need help because we want to be there for you. Now, another thing that this being at home has showed us that some of our families have problems. Has anybody else noticed that? I mean, some of you husbands and wives have been socially distancing for a long time. You know, it's stopping at the bar before you come home. It's getting distracted by sports. It's maybe going out with your friends, or it's a vacation, or it's going to the deer lease. It's something to get away from each other. And you've been getting away from each other because you just don't like each other. And so in this, you've noticed that your marriage isn't exactly what it is supposed to be. And so you have that problem that has surfaced. For many of you, parenting has become a whole new thing because you're not only parenting, you've become a teacher and you're trying to teach the kids. Now, if I'm to believe Facebook, it's going great. It's going great because I see the pictures and the kids are smiling and you're doing crafts together and you're making this or doing that. And it's just incredible. And you're talking about how much fun it is. The picture I want to see is the child crying because you're screaming at them because they won't do their homework or they don't understand it and you've explained it for the 15th time and you're frustrated because that's what's really happening, isn't it? Let's be honest. Parenting is hard. No one in listening today, nobody listening gets this perfect. There's no perfect family. The Facebook family is a lie. There are some good times, but this shelter in place has showed us some of those stressors. Now, let's be honest. Some of you, when you go back next year to school, hopefully they go back. When they go back to school, you're going to appreciate our school system. You're going to appreciate that teacher. You're going to realize it wasn't the teacher's fault. And I think we shouldn't take that for granted any longer either. And so with that, all of these problems are arising, and I want us to talk about some ways that we can get through that, some ways that we can fix that. God has an ideal for the family. God has a picture for the family, and the family is designed to bring God glory and to bring us joy. Now, let's be honest. Many of us have messed that up. And today, as I talk, there's some single parents out there that are just immediately going to start feeling guilty. There's some of you, you're in your second and third marriage, and you're really going to start feeling guilty. And I don't want to do that. I don't want you to go there because God uses our circumstances and he uses where we are to work in our lives. He has this ideal, but that ideal is never met. I mean, look at the people in the Bible. Look at Adam. Look at Noah. Look at David. I mean, Jesus' parents left him for 3 days in Jerusalem when he was 12 years old. There's no perfect family. There's no such thing as that. The family is dysfunctional because we live in a fallen world. And so today, if you're not got the perfect family, good. Take the family you have and make it better. So we want you to come out of this shelter with something better. From the very beginning in Deuteronomy, let me read this verse to you. These are the commands, decrees, and laws the Lord your God directed me to teach you, to observe in the land that you're crossing the Jordan to possess, so that your children and their children after them may fear the Lord your God as long as you live by keeping all his decrees and commands I give you, so that you may enjoy long life. Now, Moses is explaining to this group of Israelites that have come out of slavery and they're about to go into their own land and become a nation. He's saying, listen, you need to remember God. This is what I want you to do. And if you will do these things, your grandchildren will understand who this great God is that has brought us into this land. And so he talks about how to raise our kids, how to disciple our family. Now, that is our job, to disciple our family. Now, the church has done an incredible job with ministries. And so many of you think, oh, yeah, discipling my kids means bring them to you, and then y'all teach them, and we have classes. And yes, we have all of that. But all of that is to supplement what is done in home. In fact, we cannot undo what is done in the home. They spend many, many, many more hours with you than they do with us. And so your job is to disciple them, to teach them, to help them love the Lord their God with all their heart, all their soul, and all their strength. And this is how he says do it. He says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." The next phrase is the most important. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Now, I want you to notice, he didn't start listing the commandments. He didn't start saying, make your kids do this, and then they'll be okay. No. It's like concentric circles. He says the first thing you do is you concentrate your heart as a parent on loving God. Love the Lord your God. He's not giving us a list of things to obey. He's saying, first love me. First love me. That's the key to discipling your family. Listen, a lot of us try to take our family and we try to go on the outside and work inward. We try to make the outside look good. We want people to think that we're perfect. We want people to think that our kids are incredible and that we're great parents. And we see that everywhere. But that's not the way to do it, because everybody, if you're honest, knows that there's flaw in the family. So what we do first, if we want that family to bring us joy and to bring God glory, is the first thing we do is we love God with all our heart. It starts there with us as parents. We love God. Now, some of you, you're thinking, well, I'm not discipling my kids. Yeah, you are. You're discipling your kids whether you know it or not. If you're a husband today and you're putting your wife down and you're speaking to her in harsh manner and you're being ugly and you're just a bully to her, your boy's learning. Your boy's being discipled. Your daughter's being discipled. She's seeing what it is like and how she's going to be treated when she marries. You're discipling your kids. If you lose your temper and use a string of profanities and you just cannot show them the love of God in your heart, you're discipling them. If you're a wife today and you're nagging your husband constantly, just nag, you're discipling your kids. You're teaching them how to be when they grow up. And let me tell you, this nagging women, it's never going to work. I've never met a man that said, okay, this is the 600th time you've said it, I'm going to change. It doesn't happen. And so you've got to cut that out of your life. In fact, God even feels sorry for your husband if you nag him. God feels sorry. God, in fact, says it's better to go out in the desert than to live with a nagging wife. Now, think about that for a minute. Just go into the desert. Don't take any water, just walk. Well, God, I'm going to die out there. Yeah, you're right. You're going to die. It's going to be a slow, agonizing death. And even that is better than living in a house with a nagging wife. And so husbands and wives, we've got to love God with all our heart. When we love God, we love each other, and it begins to show through. So that second circle is we're teaching the kids what it looks like to have parents that love God with all their heart. That means a man who loves his wife and gives himself up for her, loves her like Christ loves the church. For the wife, it's a wife who will respect her husband, who will show him honor, even if he doesn't deserve it, because that's what God tells us to do. So the first circle is we love God with all of our heart, all of our soul. And then that leads us to that second circle. It says to impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. The word impress is like teach. Now, anytime I've preached a message along this line, I have people tell me, oh, who has time for that? We've got baseball practice, we've got soccer, we've got cheerleading, we've got dance, we got to do this, we've got so like that, we got to go do this. There's so many activities. When am I going to ever have time to sit down and talk to my children about God? That's your job. Well, guess what? All that's been taken away. You've got plenty of time. And while you should be doing it all the time, it says as you go, you're to teach your kids. That means when you get up in the morning, when you're going through your day, you just start talking about Jesus. You just tell them about Jesus. You show them Jesus, and you just, in everything you do, you teach. Every moment you teach. And so now, while we're in this time of life, what a perfect time to impress on your kids what it means to love God. I mean, for me, I had to create a schedule because I am schedule oriented. During this time, some of you need a schedule. And one of the reasons you're depressed and one of the reasons you're struggling is because you haven't put a schedule into your life. So I'm telling you, put a schedule in. Get up at a certain time. Do things at a certain time during the day. Figure out what that is and put that schedule together. And in that schedule, make time for your children. Spend some one-on-one time and just tell them about the time that you met Jesus. Tell them about the time that you got baptized. Tell them about the time that you saw God do something good in your life. Just share these stories with these kids and teach them. And the Bible tells us if we will teach our children when they're old, they won't depart. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. That's our job as parents, as a family, the most important thing you can do. So everywhere you go, teach them Jesus. Then that leads to that final circle, that third circle. It says, write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates. So let me tell you, call, my vision has always been to reach the unchurched. The best way to do that is for our families to live out this passage, to love God, to teach their children, to love one another as a mom and dad, to teach their children the ways of the Lord, and to let that be shown in our community. Let people see that those that are following Christ have something different going on in their homes. Now, once again, nobody's looking for the perfect family because we know it does not exist. One of the slams on Christianity is we think we're better than everybody. Listen, that's not true. What we're looking for is families that are doing the best they can, that are authentic, that are real, that are flawed. It's people that know without the love of God, we would be wrecks. And so we come together and we do the best we can. And when we fail, we admit it and we get up and we walk again. When we lose our temper with our wife, we admit it, we ask her to forgive us, and we do it again. When we lose our temper with our children, we admit it, we ask them forgiveness, and we do it again. And we keep on this process. And when people come into our lives, our world looks different. So when we go back to normal, I hope normal is living out this decree. I hope normal means that you don't overcommit and do so much that you're so busy doing the things that really aren't going to matter and you neglect the things that matter the most. I hope that you will love God. I hope that parents will love each other, that will be consistent, that will be good listeners, that will discipline our kids, not in anger and without rejection, that we won't play favorites, and that we'll just admit our failures. Then the world will see this beautiful picture of redemption, this beautiful picture of mercy, this beautiful picture of grace. It's up to us. We can come out of this shelter better than ever. We can come out of this shelter stronger than ever. We can come out of this shelter bringing God glory and having more joy in our family than we've had for years. It's up to you. It's up to you. Will you love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength? Will you love your neighbor as you love yourself? Everything we need to know is wrapped up in those two things. Thank you for joining us. Can I pray over you? Father, thank you again for the presence. Thank you for your power. Thank you for, even though we're in an empty room, your spirit goes out. Thank you for the lives that are being touched. Thank you for the people that are being changed. And I pray you will use this word today to begin healing families and moving them into a better place. In Jesus' name. Thank you so much for joining us. I expect you to be in this same situation again next week. As soon as we can meet together, we will, because there's something powerful about Christians coming together in Jesus' name. Until then, take care of yourself. Be safe.
If you have any questions or need prayer, send us a message at info@theavenuechurch.com. We are always here for you. Looking for ways to give from where you are? Text the amount to 84321. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media to stay in the loop. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.